What inspired you to write, this Every Girl's Guide for Life?
I get stopped at malls, at airports, in the supermarket, and women are always asking me different questions. And so it was never just one thing. It was, how did you lose the weight? How do you juggle it all? How do you, fight, the fight and decide that you can do all these different things? And they just always ask me so many different things. And I finally decided that I'd kind of gotten my stuff together enough, and I learned enough from all of these successful people in my journey that I wanted to share it with everyone. And so I wasn't going to sit in the mall for 2 hours and be like, okay, get this makeup, get this eyeliner, get this, because I used to do that, and my friends used to get so annoyed with me. They're like, can we go now? And I'm like, no, but she needs to know everything. And so everything I know, you now know.
Excellent, excellent. In the book, you provided advice on career, health, relationships, and among other things. If you had to pick one overall piece of advice that was most impactful for your career, your life, what would that advice be?
I think it would be my dad. My dad always used to say, as we were mopping people's vomit at nightclubs, he would say, Maria, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I would kind of look around and I'm like, well, there's no way to go but up from here. So so I believed him, and I watched them lead by example. Like I said, they did everything themselves. They taught themselves how to do so many jobs. They came to this country with no education and no money and no foundation and no family. I mean, they came over here by themselves, and so they learned how to do it all on their own, and somehow, paid the mortgage, got me to school, and did all these things. And so if they could do it, why couldn't I?
Excellent. You were successful at relatively at a young age, and so starting at age 22, if you could go back and change something, what would that be?
I wouldn't change anything, first and foremost, because this has been my journey, but I did have moments where I wished that my parents had put me in dance class or in singing lessons or in all of these things that everyone else in my school and my friends used to get to do, because I was like, God, I would have been so much further ahead of the curve. But at the end of the day, everything would have turned out differently, and so I'm happy with where it is. It's a fight every day. People don't realize, they think once you've made it, it's like you've made it. It's like, no, you have to work 10 times harder to stay there, because there are all these other people who are trying to come up the ladder too, and so, you have to work even harder to sustain everything, and so I wouldn't change anything.
Thank you. And then my last question would be, how do you use digital and social media?
I was very afraid of social media in the beginning. I used to think Facebook was like Armageddon. I was so terrified of it, to be honest. And then I realized I could either be that person that gets left behind, or the person who jumps on board and embraces this. And I started to see what a huge tool it was. And so I got onto Twitter, and I really enjoyed it. I was very scared at first. I really enjoyed it. And so it's been really helpful with the book. I had every one of my celebrity friends tweet out for me the night before the release of the book. And I know that their their tweets helped me get to number 4 on the Amazon bestseller list.
Absolutely.
Because of their support. I mean, millions and millions of people saw the Every Girl's Guide to Life on their Twitter. So between Facebook and Twitter, you can do so many things. You can market yourself as in your blog, and you can get it to people. You just have to put an @Maria Menounos, and guess what? I'm seeing it all the way in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and
it's
so it's so useful and so amazing. And Bing has been so amazing, and the platform that we built out, Bing.com/Maria, with all our video tips. And now women who get the book and want to see something a little bit more in depth on video get to go there and see all these video tips that we posted. So I've tried to really embrace digital media and social media in the biggest way I can, and I'm only learning now, and I'm going to hopefully get better at it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, and I just want to definitely encourage everyone to get the book as soon as possible, and just start learning about all the tips Maria has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you so much.